Hi there, everybody. Well, I'm making this, as you can see in the title. It's about the Apple logo. Now, with the tech survey that I've done, I said in my tech survey, in my reply to it, that I would be making a video about the Apple logo. So I'm making it today. Now, the Adrian DRB UK, he made a fantastic video about the Apple logo, but his was more aimed at the history of the logo and like the retro logo, like this logo, how it came about and what have you, and what it stood for, what it symbolised. But what I'm going to do is something that I've been thinking about, and something that catches me out all the time, but maybe that's because I want to, and that's the psychological effects of the Apple logo. Now, obviously, for people who are in retail and are trying to sell a product, it's obviously very, very important that the way in which you advertise that product gets into people's heads and that they remember it. Now, I'm going to make a couple of comparisons here, and please don't think that I'm trying to compare Apple with these comparisons, because I'm not. But but there are some underlying things. Now, when I was in the army, as a lot of you know, I spent quite a long time in the army, and I'd always wanted to be in the army, and I joined the army at 16, so I went to like what they call boy service, which is where you do schooling and stuff like that, and it's like just like a military boarding school. It was something I'd always wanted to do, and we learnt military history there. Now, that was something that already interested me in any case before I even joined the army, so I knew quite a bit about military history. But one of the things that they talk about in military history is dictatorship. Now, if you go to, and this is why I say, please don't think I'm trying to compare Apple to what I'm about to talk about. If you go to any library and you look up about Germany in the Second World War, or you look at the Russian Revolution in, you know, whenever that took place in 1917 and stuff, and you look at all the other tiny little countries, like in even Bosnia and Serbia and stuff, these different places, and Rwanda, and lots of different countries where like a dictator will take over and thing. But especially in the Germany instance in the Second World War, every rally that was ever held by Hitler and his, you know, the SS, the German SS and stuff like that there. If you look at old video clips from it, the streets were lined, completely lined with swastikas, and everywhere you turned and you looked, there were swastikas there, and that done a thing which was called winning the hearts and minds. Now, I'm not going to go through all the military stuff about winning hearts and minds, but obviously the German, like Hitler and all that there, he wanted his people, his German people, to actually really believe in what he was doing in terms of the war effort. Now, in terms of my perception of the psychological effects on the Apple logo, with being a soldier, there has to be a certain part of you that wants to be brainwashed. Okay, and because I was in the army for so long and did so well at the army, I opened my brain up to being brainwashed, because that's effectively what you have to do. And Apple, I think, do this as well. Now, obviously, strong-minded people who can resist the influences of nice, shiny things or what have you to get there, this isn't going to affect them. But for idiots like me, well, you can say I'm an idiot or not, like, but I buy into the whole thing. Now, if you look at the Apple as a company, when they send something out, their products, as we all know, as Mac users know, their products are perfect in every way. I'm not talking about the functionality of them here at the minute, okay, or the technical aspects. I'm talking about the aesthetics of them. They're perfect in every way. They look beautiful, and all the products go in line with each other seamlessly. And on every single product that they send out, even the packaging is beautiful. I mean, like, I've seen empty Mac Pro boxes going on YouTube for £30, and people buying them, empty boxes, just to have. or empty iPod Touch boxes or iPhone boxes. People sell these things, and it's because even the packaging is beautiful, but the logo itself is plastered on everything. Everything. I mean, like, take this mouse, okay? You're not going to see it very well, but everybody that has a Mighty Mouse is going to know that there's an Apple logo there. There's an Apple logo on the bottom of it. There's even an Apple logo on the USB. And when you plug the USB in, it's only that side that you see. You don't even get to see the Apple side because it goes in that way. But the Apple logo is still there. And the psychological effects of this are that when you're using a product by Apple, you're being bombarded with that logo, and that logo is being instilled on your brain whether you like it or not. That's just my opinion. I mean, like the boxes. Here's my iPod Touch box. I mean, like, you know, it's a beautiful box. I mean, why would you throw something like that out? Somebody has taken a lot of time. I mean, like, that's just me, right? Even your dock. Oh, I'm knocking everything down. For the iPod, you know, even it's got an Apple logo on the bottom of it, and it's just everything. The Apple packaging. There's the logo is just there on the top of the Airport Basic Stream. It's there. So here's what I'm going to ask you all. I didn't think I was going to ask a question. What do you think of the Apple logo? Now, I asked this in the tech survey, but it was in fairness, the tech survey was maybe a little bit too long. So if you want to give me a more in-depth answer about the Apple logo, now that I've made this and you can kind of think about what I'm saying about the Apple logo, do you think that it affects you? I mean, it affects me in a positive way. I mean, it affects me in the way Apple wants it to affect me, in that I buy Apple products. And if I had the money to do it, I would have, God, I don't know, I would have nearly every Apple product that's on the market, whether it actually is going to be used to its full ability in my house or not. I would still probably buy it, and that's how silly I am when it comes to this particular thing. But I know there's obviously people out there that can definitely resist this type of thing. And so for those people, what do you think that this logo is having an effect on you? Do you think it subconsciously gets inside you, and when you see that Apple logo, you're kind of like, you know, you can't resist yourself. You know, you walk in. I mean, like, even the Apple stores. Now, I've only been to one Apple store, and it's the flagship store here in the UK, and it's the one down in London, and it is just beautiful. I mean, like, it's a work of art. And when you go in there, I mean, like, everything is laid out like you're in an art gallery. It's only technology to some people, but to Mac users, certain Mac users, it's like walking into an art gallery. These MacBook Pros and MacBooks and, you know, iPods, they're all lined up, and people are just sitting there admiring them, and then they'll go over and try and use the functionality. But first and foremost, it's admiration, it's aesthetics that people go to it. So anyway, that's kind of my question for everybody. What do you think the Apple logo? How do you think it affects you? If it does. If it doesn't affect you, tell me. Say why it doesn't affect you. Maybe you're a stronger minded person than I am. If you are, good. Tell me how to be like that, because I spend far too much money on things like this, and my wife is not very happy sometimes, but there you have it. Right, anyway, thanks very much for watching the video, and I'll speak to you all soon, and have a good weekend. Bye.